Well, broadcasting live from Musambia at Hanlon Road, this is the Uganda Catholic Television. My name is Joseph Kabala. I'm here with the 18th May 2026 Uctv News Edition. Now, to start with, the Uganda Episcopal Conference has urged the Catholic faithful across Uganda and the rest of the world who had anticipated flocking to Namugongo Martyrs Shrine for this year's National Martyrs Day celebrations to instead commemorate the occasion at the diocesan and parish levels under the guidance of their respective ordinaries. The pastoral directive was issued by the chairperson of the conference, who also serves as the Bishop of Chinda-Mityana Diocese, Right Reverend Joseph Anthony Zua, following the postponement of the national celebrations by the President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. Now, in a statement released last evening, the President, His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, cited concerns over the Ebola outbreak in Eastern Congo as the reason behind the decision aimed at safeguarding public health and preventing possible cross-border transmission of this disease. Let's watch more. Amidst advanced preparations for this year's Martyrs Day celebrations, which were to be animated by the Diocese of Kasese, anxiety and uncertainty have engulfed many Christian faithful, especially pilgrims, who were planning to embark on journeys to Namugongo after the President announced the postponement of the 3rd June national event to an unspecified date. The decision was attributed to fear surrounding the Ebola outbreak in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Yet the Diocese of Beni Butembo sends thousands of pilgrims to the Namugongo Catholic Shrine every year. The development subsequently prompted the Uganda Episcopal Conference, through its chairperson, Right Reverend Joseph Anthony Zua, to issue pastoral guidance outlining how this year's celebrations will be observed.
Following the government's communication regarding the postponement of the National Uganda Martyrs Day celebrations at Namugongo, the Uganda Episcopal Conference provides the following pastoral guidance to the Catholic faithful to ensure that this important occasion is prayerfully observed.
While addressing the media at the Uganda Catholic Secretariat this afternoon, Bishop Zua guided that the celebrations shall be held at the parish and diocesan levels in coordination with local authorities as part of the efforts to contain the possible spread of the Ebola virus.
Although the national gathering at Namugongo has been postponed, dioceses and parishes are encouraged to celebrate the day with the guidance of the diocesan bishop and the relevant government authorities. We urge you all to follow the guidelines given by the government and the Ministry of Health.
The bishop further called on the faithful to intensify prayers to God and seek the intercession of the Uganda Martyrs for protection against the pandemic and for the restoration of free and unrestricted fellowship among Christians.
As shepherds of God's people, we invite all the faithful to remain calm, prayerful, united, and hopeful. The witness of the Uganda Martyrs continues to inspire the Church and the nation, reminding us that the true faith is lived daily through love, sacrifice, truth, and fidelity to God.
Every 3rd June, the entire Catholic community commemorates Uganda Martyrs Day in honor of the younger Christian converts who were killed between 1885 and 1887 on the orders of Kabaka Mwanga II for refusing to renounce their faith. Over the years, the annual Martyrs Day celebrations have since grown into one of the largest religious pilgrimages, attracting millions of pilgrims from Uganda and neighboring countries, including Kenya, Tanzania, Rwanda, South Sudan, the Democratic Republic of Congo. Well, away from that, the Archbishop of Kampala, Archdiocese His Grace Paul Semwogere, has urged Catholic social communicators to prioritize positive and constructive storytelling in order to promote harmony, hope, and social cohesion in the society. While presiding over the celebrations, which were marking the 60th World Social Communications Day at Rubaga Cathedral, the Archbishop also echoed the Holy Father's call for responsible use of artificial intelligence and emerging technologies in communication. Now, the Archbishop emphasized the importance of upholding ethics, truth, and the core values of communication as the Church continues its evangelization mission in this digital age. Over the weekend, Catholic social communicators from Kampala Archdiocese joined the Universal Catholic Church in commemorating the 60th World Social Communications Day at Lubaga Cathedral. The celebrations featured a Holy Mass led by the Archbishop Paul Semogerere, who reiterated the Holy Father's message, calling on communicators to embrace artificial intelligence and other digital advancements with caution, ensuring that technology serves humanity without undermining human dignity or compromising journalistic ethics and values.
The Holy Father asks you not to renounce your ability to think, because artificial intelligence stops you from bothering to think. This is brought by the temptation to naive and unquestioning reliance on artificial intelligence as an omniscient friend, a source of knowledge, and archive of every memory, an oracle of all advice. And the Pope says you must not throw away the gift of spending time with the people by using artificial intelligence.
The keynote speaker, Dr. Sam Kaziwe, underscored the importance of press freedom, warning that without it, society risks descending into the law of the jungle, where only the strongest survive. He nevertheless urged communicators to remain faithful to their values and ethical standards of responsible communication.
Communication era nkulu kubanga ebintu ebirala byonna mu bulamu ye namuziga. Abasoma eddembe ly'obuntu ku ddaala ery'owaggulu waliwo ebigambo bye bamanyi ebitera okusomesebwa ennyo nti eddembe ery'okweyogerera n'amawulire kulu nnyo kubanga lyerirera eddembe ddala. Mu Luzungu bagamba nti it is through the process of normal communication that rights are conceptualized, developed, and defended.
In the same spirit, the director of the Social Communications Department, Reverend Father Joseph Muchibi, appealed to the faithful to support the department's initiatives aimed at achieving self-reliance. He noted that limited resources continue to affect the department's ability to effectively execute its communication mission.
Twagala tutuuke akadde nga tuli self-reliant, nga tusobola okweyimirizaawo. Okweyimirizaawo kintu kikulu nnyo kubanga kikutangira obutanyoomebwa. Ate ne doona akoowa, kye tuyita donor fatigue. Kati tusaba bassebo ne banyabo mu mutima ogw'okwagala, mu mutima ogw'obwetowaze, nga bwe tuddukanya ekitongole kino ne bannange bano, mutuwagire omulundi ogusembayo, twongere okukwata projects zaffe, tubeere self-reliant nga tweyimirizaawo, ate tusobole okuddukanya ekitongole kino, ate n'okulangirira amawulire agasanyusa aga Yezu nga tetukaluubirirwa.
The event also attracted high-profile dignitaries from the Uganda Episcopal Conference, who are overseeing major Catholic media institutions in the country, including the General Manager of the Uganda Catholic Television, Reverend Father Augustine Masereka, and the Managing Director of Radio Sapientia, Reverend Father Joseph Lubulwa. Speaking on behalf of the Catholic media leadership, the Executive Secretary of the Social Communications Department at the Uganda Episcopal Conference, Reverend Father Philip Odi, urged the faithful to support Catholic media institutions and embrace them as their own in order to sustain the Church's evangelization mission through modern communication platforms.
We had a fundraising to start that TV. We requested our Catholics all over Uganda to give 2,000 shillings. And I want to thank you that it is that money that helped us to start UCTV. So the 2,000 shillings that you donated was the seed that has given birth to Uganda Catholic Television. So thank you so much for that generosity. And I'm also happy to tell you that Uganda Catholic Television is also recognized by the Vatican. We have a direct satellite link to the Vatican media. And whenever the Holy Father is having any celebration at the Vatican, is traveling any part of the world, we have a direct satellite link to transmit the Holy Father's apostolic journeys and celebrations. And it is one of the few TVs and the medias in Uganda that is usually acknowledged whenever the Vatican media is transmitting apostolic celebrations of the Holy Father. So it is a TV owned by Uganda Episcopal Conference, by the Catholic Church in Uganda, but recognized also by the Vatican. So we would like to appeal to our Catholics all over Uganda to support Uctv, to support Radio Sapiencia, so that it can grow.
Well, out of Kampala, the groundbreaking ceremony for the elderly priest's home in Arua Diocese has been scheduled for July 27, 2026, with the President, His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, expected as the chief guest. Now, the project is being funded locally through community contributions under the fundraising campaign known as Jegi Jegi, which was launched 3 years ago and has since raised about 300 million shillings to kickstart the construction. Now, speaking to the media, the Bishop Samino Ochan Odoch emphasized the urgent need to support elder priests who currently lack proper housing. Now, Arua Diocese, the largest Catholic diocese in Uganda, serves an estimated 2.6 million Catholics, with more than 200 priests serving both within and outside the diocese.
The groundbreaking ceremony for the Arua Diocese Elderly Priest Home is scheduled for 27th July 2026, with the President of Uganda, His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, expected to be the chief guest. The project is being funded locally through a community contribution and the fundraising drive, popularly known as the Jeki Jeki. Speaking to the media, the Bishop of Arua Diocese, Right Reverend Sabino Chanyo Doki, emphasized the urgent need to support the elderly priests who currently lack proper housing.
I'm Bishop Sabino Ochano Dake, speaking to you from the diocesan headquarters here in Ediofe, in Arua City. I want to thank the chairman of this press conference, our catechist Christopher Nyakuni, who has invited me to give some briefing to the press about the house for retired priests, sick priests, or priests who need to have some rest or rehabilitation. The Diocese of Arua now in record has about 200 priests. So we are also experiencing that some have reached retirement age, and also few others who are sick, and we don't have proper place for these people. So there is now need for having a proper place where whoever needs to go for rehabilitation, for rest, for retirement, or to be cared for because he's sick, needing assisted living, we need such a place. Time has come for it. So we are very grateful to those who have donated towards this cause. The total amount we shall need is about 3 billion. So my appeal is to all the Catholics and people of goodwill to come up and contribute towards this cause. I thank you for listening, and I ask God to bless you abundantly.
The initiative, which was launched 3 years ago, has so far raised about 300 million shillings to kickstart the construction. Let's listen to Joseph Ochen, the technical finance mobilizer.
It is clear that the 300 million cannot do this work. But we cannot wait. The people want to know. People already asking for accountability for the 300 million we are saying has been collected. That is why we are saying from our BOQ it can cover the preliminaries. So we want to get started.
The diocesan financial administrator and the project treasurer, Fiona Adania, is now urging the Christians and well-wishers to embrace the Jeki Jeki initiative to ensure a dignified life for the retired clergy.
Now is the time for us to support our priests. And how are we supposed to do this? Indeed, we have been giving the 100 shillings, but this 100 shilling has not been coming from all of us. I am now appealing to each one of us from every parish for this special occasion, please and please, let us give this 100 shillings. For us, we come from homes, but our priests have no homes. For us, when we retire, we go back to our villages. But when these priests retire, where do they go? They have nowhere to go. It is our responsibility to put up something for them.
The project mobilizers say the fundraising model is designed to be inclusive, allowing everyone to contribute according to their ability. Michael Komakech explains.
We have written to all the banks in Arua, in our region here, and an appeal letter has gone to them, to our schools, both primary and secondary, to our church-funded institutions, professionals and NGOs, those in the diaspora. We are not limiting ourselves to the people in West Nile here, but also in Kampala and beyond. And other denominations have been we have got in touch with them.
Other planned services include a playground for physical exercise and a solar-powered water system. Arua Diocese, the largest in Uganda, serves an estimated 2.6 million Catholics.
Well, away from that, His Eminence Emmanuel Wamala has commended the Uganda Human Rights Commission for its efforts in promoting and protecting human rights in the country. Now, Cardinal Wamala made the remarks at his residence, where he received a delegation from the commission led by the Commissioner Lamex Omara Peter. The 99-year-old Cardinal said he consistently supported the commission's work and expressed hope that its efforts will continue to yield the positive results in advancing justice and the preservation of human rights.
This is for you from the Uganda Human Rights Commission. That we do promote human rights. I am with you and I pray for you that your efforts will be rewarded. I would like to thank you for the gifts you have brought me. We thank Almighty God for this courtesy meeting, and we thank you, Your Eminence, for hosting us at your esteemed residence here in Samaria. The Uganda Human Rights Commission recognizes the long-standing and invaluable role of the Catholic Church in shaping moral conscience of our people and the nation. We are here because the mission of the Catholic Church aligns with the mandate of the Uganda Human Rights Commission to protect and promote respect for human rights for all persons in Uganda. We therefore, Your Eminence, recognize the Catholic Church as a strategic partner in collaborating in the areas of, among others, promoting human rights, education, and awareness, defending and promoting rights of vulnerable people, supporting peaceful resolution of conflicts through alternative dispute resolution mechanisms, including arbitration, amicable settlement of disputes, among others, and for encouraging ethical leadership and responsible citizenship. The Church's extensive presence across the country and the moral authority it commands makes it an indispensable partner for building a society founded on respect for human dignity and the rule of law, in the knowledge that all mankind is created by God with equal and indivisible rights.
From you, without the blessing from your end, then we can't have the energy, we can't have the direction to do the type of work that we do for this country. We thank you so much.
God bless you, Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Well, and with that, we'll take you for a break, after which we'll come back with more stories from our local scene. We thank you so much for watching the Uganda Catholic Television. We will not be so long. We'll be coming back in the next few minutes. Just keep it to Uctv.
UCTV. Good news for all. At Centenary Bank, we know that agriculture is more than just a livelihood, it's the heartbeat of our nation. That's why we've created the Centenary Bank Agricultural Product Suite, designed to meet the unique needs of every farmer. From planting and nurturing to harvesting and selling, our products are tailored to your needs with flexible repayment plans, grace periods, and cash flow based on loan structuring. At Centenary Bank, we are committed to turning your hard work into lasting success. With us by your side, your produce reaches the market and your dreams become reality. Visit any of our nearest branch today or call our toll-free line 0800 200 555 or 0800 335 344.
Centenary Bank.
Centenary Bank is a member of the Center Group regulated by Bank of Uganda. Customer deposits of up to 10 million shillings are protected by the Deposit Protection Fund of Uganda. Terms and conditions apply.
UCTV. Good news for all.
Welcome back from that break. You're still watching the Monday edition of UCTV News. My name is Joseph Kabal. Now continuing, the Forum for Democratic Change, that is FDC, has accused the President, His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, of presiding over what they described as entrenched corruption within government, arguing that the recent investigations involving the outgoing Speaker of Parliament and Bukedde, a woman member of Parliament, Anita Among, amount to selective prosecution driven by political interests. While addressing journalists at the party's headquarters in Najanankumbi, the FDC Vice Chairperson Robert Centenary claimed that Amongo's wealth accumulation, including investments in hospitals, schools, sports facilities and real estate, had long been publicly known. Centenary further alleged that the government official Anita Among had previously associated with and endorsed some of the projects linked to Among, citing the President's attendance at commissioning of Bukedde Teaching Hospital, among these many. Let's watch more.
We all agree that Anita Among did not become wealthy overnight, and she did not do so in secret. In fact, she has been open about her assets, how she accumulated her assets, the vehicles, and the real estates that were where the security operatives went and raided. But all this has been happening under the endorsement of her boss, President Museveni. First of all, he's the one who commissioned Bukedde Teaching Hospital in 2024. He stood besides her as she commissioned the facility without even asking so much about the source of money. I remember himself confessing that he's the one who helped her with some of the money she used to build her schools. Even at one occasion, the president himself was heard and seen to have encouraged Ugandans to do a lifestyle audit on public servants. And in his own words, he said, those who invest the money they have looted locally are far better than those who repatriate the money and invest it out of the country. I don't know what moral message he was sending to the citizens and the office bearers in this country. By prosecuting the Right Honorable Among, President Museveni wants us to believe that the government he has been responsible for the last 40 years of institutionalized corruption has overnight become the biggest fighter of corruption. Our position is clear as the FDC that selective prosecution is not justice. And we don't think President Museveni is fighting corruption. He's just trying to manage who among the corrupt retains his protection and who does not. We all know, if you've been watching what has been happening in the recent past, when you look at the order of national precedence, the CDF is number 27 in the national order of precedence. he wields power that is almost equated to the power of the president. He will determine who the next speaker will be. He will head a political organization with impunity, even when the UPDF Act deters him from doing so. Where is the moral of corruption? Before Ugandans become excited about the peanut that the Right Honorable Anita Among is alleged to have stolen, what fraction of the 10 trillion every year, if you multiply by the 40 years, how much trillion is that? And of that, how much fraction has Anita Among stolen? If it is a war against corruption, is it going to stop on Anita Among? Obviously, we know that the drama that has been taking place was to manage her out of the speakership race. Are we going to see this fight going on and on and on, downwards, up to the last corrupt officer? In the Iron Sheet scandal, 22 ministers were involved, including the current speaker that they were endorsing in Mukono over the weekend, because he was one of the beneficiaries of the Mabat. Only 3 were prosecuted, and only 1 was convicted. She's in Luzira. Where is the moral high ground of President Museveni in the fight against corruption?
Well, and last one from the local scene, the newly elected Waxhaw District Chairperson Engineer Ian Chayuna has been sworn in for the 2026-2031 term and pledged to prioritize the fight against corruption, promote unity among residents despite their political affiliation, and improve service delivery across the whole district. Now, speaking to journalists shortly after the swearing-in ceremony at Waxhaw District Headquarters, Chayune said his administration will focus on driving development, improving road infrastructure, and strengthening access to essential public services. Chayune also vowed to tackle corruption and environmental degradation, saying the district is committed to ensuring better governance and sustainable development for every resident.
Solemnly affirm that I will give faithful service to this council and support and uphold the Constitution of Uganda as by law established. So help me Allah.
We want to look at water extension of pipe to water, safe and clean water. We are also interested in making sure that we build more markets for people to have where they are working from. So, in the essence of socio-economic development, we'll also make sure we advance government programs such as EMIOGA, PDM, Operation Wealth Creation, and any other which we can start up, either in the district level or at national level. But we are also going to make sure that our people get rich. So one way of doing it is to train them in areas where they are supposed to invest, so that we reduce that animosity, where people just invest and lose their resources. Number 5 and final, we are going to make sure we look at a job center and library. The youth are crying of unemployment. Indeed, there could be unemployment, but the challenge we have, the creators who need workers don't know where they are. Neither do the workers know where to go and find jobs. So we are going to put up job centers which are going to help our youth to put in their CVs, and then the job creators who want workers will go into that pot and find out exactly which person they need for their service. That will reduce the number of people who are actually reduced in terms of employment. But the most important, we will train those people who will come to the job center so that they can be able to retain their jobs. Many people get jobs, but they don't know how to retain them. They get unemployed within 1 month, 2 months.
Well, and with that as our very last story for tonight, we thank you so much for watching the Uganda Catholic Television. Now let's look at what we brought for you in today's history. For now, allow me sign out and remind you to follow us on our social media handles. For now, up next are many more programs you wouldn't want to miss. Until we meet again, I say good night.